What happened?
Yeah, man, I've been repeating that damn NPR Tiny Desk. Like, he killed it. Like, the band was busting, the background singers, everybody was crazy. Okay, that works. Yeah, we got them all. Okay, got them all. We gotta be careful with IG though, because you know they be trying to cut us off.
That's part of the reason why I like J. Cole.
Yeah.
I want to say, I could be wrong on this, I haven't. But I think like his music, it doesn't get flagged. But I think it's like a record. I think it's like a thing like he tells his because he's like, hey man, if you use my shit, don't take my shit down.
Yeah.
It's not that serious.
That's somebody that's comfortable in their craft. I can give ideas away and still go back to the source.
Right.
Like, I'm good.
Like some of y'all full of shit.
Yeah, that's
y'all,
good.
I remember playing some people's shit. I'm like, you're not even that famous for your shit to be getting flagged like that. Like, you need us to be playing this shit as much as possible.
More than 30 seconds.
I like your song.
Yeah.
But you're I know it's not you, it's just like a business thing, but your company's tripping. They should be thanking God. Folks, you playing your shit outside.
You need me.
Nah, because on the real, like, when I'm DJing and I have, like, I'm at spots, and then I play, like, something that I really fuck with, it's not that popular.
And then you put other people on. Yeah.
No. I mean, like, from the perspective of, I've had people who work for, or, like, subsidiary, like, of the bigger labels, they were like, oh, there's an artist that's under us. Mm-hmm. I want to be like, they really appreciate it. I'm like, why do y'all keep talking this shit on social media? Because you talk to your higher ups and tell them, like, y'all, they light up when you play their artist shit.
So how do they want you to get around that? Like to get a license or something? To play? Like, I guess that's always my question. Like, how are we supposed to get around it? Because I think right now on IG is what, 30 seconds? You can't pay. You play more than 30 seconds continuously.
I'm pretty much ready. That's all this stuff.
Okay, and I need your handle right.
Turn my what you call it off? Turn do not disturb. Hey, do not disturb. Oh shit.
Oh yeah, I did what? It was late when I did the rest of these, so I guess I forgot. I put the Montana representative on there.
Oh yeah.
What's up? I think that's Megan. Yeah, what's up, Megan? We're gonna have a weekend. We're going to Zach Brown concert and going to see Usher.
Oh, yeah,
Country and R&B. You can't really beat it.
Loving ashes, shit the gas, living fast, that's so bad, bitch. Bad bitch, lucky average. On the rap, on the move, at the passion. She just like it, she just like it. At the high shit, on the ride shit. Spy it, she not righteous. Want the prizes, want the highest. I got it, Isha, roll. I just keep a phone, yeah, mama, no, I can't keep no hoes, call my phone, I know that she going, don't know where she going, she never been home, she never cool, she needs to grab my life, my bitch is back to work, she just might say it like, I said you what she want, like test the rolls, I said you just a song, that wouldn't go me what I need, baby.
I know, my sister actually bought me this for Christmas 2020, which was crazy Christmas. Yeah. No, 2019.
Find location. Oh, cups. Here. Are you ready? We'll position you first, and then you position me next. Okay. Right there?
Yep.
Bring the mic up. Just go point it up a little bit. There you go. Bring it more out this way. There you go. Okay. Okay.
I got it.
So make sure it's on first.
Is Alan Tyler?
It's not actually locked. The block piece just came off. Let's see if I can get another.
You said cups. I can get those. You still got the
I
styrofoams?
just put two of them right here for everything. I'm out of regular cups.
You want to turn the stove off?
Oh, yes. Alright, put on this camera. Shoot on that camera just needs. Get me right on this one.
Show you more than I can say. All I say is something I can feel. Wanna do what others do.
All right.
So let's go. Damn, it's like that.
So, hello, y'all. Welcome to
Yeah.
No, still good? Oh, yeah, let me put it back on.
Look at that, starting on time. Even though y'all get to see the setup. What's up, mate?
All right.
No. Let's go.
All right. I'll make this big screen. Is that good? Make it big screen.
I'll upgrade to a better camera at some point. But for now, that's what we got.
Yeah, that works. All right. I've been trying to stay away, but you know it keeps ready.
Good. All right. Cut the music. From your Apple Music. The other screen.
Oh. All right. Starting in. Starting this camera.
I'll start this one last.
Rolling. Starting on here. Rolling. Starting on here. Rolling. Rolling. All right. Let me big up here. There we go. Okay. Hit it, pull from it. I'm putting my thing on there where you can. Let's get started. It's some killing. It's some killing. All right, guys. Let's go ahead. I think we're ready. All right. Starting in 3, 2, 1. lights, cameras, live, peace. Starting now. I want to welcome y'all to the Green Route Podcast, episode number 43. I am GS.
And I'm Marlissa. What's up, y'all?
Welcome back to another week. Honestly, excuse my thing.
No,
that was my aunt calling me.
Oh, that was Auntie.
Aunt just calling out. Well, she gonna knock on the door. Let me lock the door, y'all, because
it's real life out here. This is real life out here.
Next step to coming. So
We gotta send her a text.
So we gonna start back over again. We're gonna start back over again. Let me let her know that I gotta call her right back. Answer so I can tell you. Hurry up, answer so I can tell you.
These are bloopers right here.
These is bloopers. Yeah, what's up?
You should know right now, are you?
No, not going anywhere. I'm recording right now. I'm doing now. No, I'm recording. I'm recording a podcast right now, so you have to wait until I get done.
Oh.
I'll be done in about an hour and a half. Come by in an hour and a half.
Okay.
All right. Bye. She's definitely on the way. All right, we're back. Okay. All right, y'all. Starting back in 3, 2, lights, cameras, sound. Let's go. I want to welcome y'all to episode 43 of the Green Route Podcast. I am GS.
And I'm Marlissa. What's up, y'all? Welcome back.
Welcome back, y'all. Kind of as, I mean, if you've been watching, there's been a lot of things that have been happening here, but there've been a lot of things happening outside of the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like today is kind of it's a nice mix of both.
Yeah, we want to make sure our people are up to date on geopolitical, foreign affairs. You know,
Yeah.
like,
because we all know that what's happening over there or outside of here,
mm-hmm.
in a way, is on a larger scale what's happening here.
Yeah.
We're only a microcosm of what's happening outside in the world. So 9 times out of 10, basically what I'm saying is, if it's bullshit happening out there, 9 times out of 10, a form of that same bullshit is happening here.
And let's be clear, we may have started the bullshit happening there.
America might be directly involved in the bullshit that's happening over there.
Yeah.
Would not be surprised.
Yeah.
So we have a few quick hits that we're going to tap on briefly, very briefly. A lot of it is, truth be told, police violence.
Mm-hmm.
So one quick hit, the woman who mistook her gun for a taser, the police officer, and shot the boy in the parking lot, she's been released. I think she's only served 16 months. So yeah, I don't know what kind of justice is that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's that. Also, we've had recently the brother's family, the brother who passed away while in jail down in Houston. They found his body being eaten by bed bugs and whatever kind of bugs that were inside of the facility at the time. Y'all, the police, the prison system itself, and this is a whole topic we may go back into, but they're extremely negligent.
Yeah.
They're negligent without any consequence.
That's right.
They're not negligent just because they're just terrible at their job. They're negligent because they can be negligent.
Yeah.
So this is just a sign of that.
Yeah, a lot of times we see the officers on the street, but we don't realize there are officers and correction officers inside these facilities that get away with just as much.
Mm-hmm.
But because it's behind closed doors and these are considered already convicted criminals, like they just, we don't hear about it as much. But they're 100% just as much negligence inside, maybe even more so because those people are already considered thrown away.
Right.
So yeah, that's crazy. And the last one I had, so we just found out that the police officers who were involved with the murder of a man named Miles Jackson. This was in an Ohio emergency room. They've been acquitted.
Mm-hmm.
They shot him 20 times after he was on the ground, and it looked like he went to sit up after being tased, and an officer yelled, "He's got a gun, he's got a gun," and next thing you know, 20 bullets are in his body.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those officers will not be held accountable for that.
So those are our quick hits. As terrible as they are, Yeah, let's just understand those are the constant reminders that we are in a police state.
Mm-hmm.
So and when we say police state, uh, one of the pieces of evidence of that is the fact that they can do things like commit murder and be let off.
That's right.
Clear signs of murder.
Yeah.
They are the what do they say? Trial, judge, and executioner.
Yeah. What is that? The judge, the jury, and the executioner.
Judge, jury, and executioner.
Yeah.
So
that's real.
Yeah.
That is real. All right, you want to hop into the big ones?
Yes. Can we save the first one that we have for the last one so
I
we
agree.
have fun?
I agree.
So that's gonna be interesting.
I was just looking at, you and I are in sync. All right, so I'm gonna jump down to number 2 then. All right, so our first topic, y'all. Trump, he's staying in trouble. This man's staying in trouble. So this one is a little fun, but the reason he's in trouble, sadly, is just terrible. So Trump and his son Eric are in hot water right now because as his trial for the alleged rape of E. Jean Carroll, begins, he takes to what's the name of his
Truth
little
Social.
brown,
Truth Social.
They
still running.
They still run. He still hasn't returned to Twitter. I guess he's just trying to make Truth Social a thing. So he runs to Truth Social. I can't even say it. Like, it's not even easy to say. To call the entire case a sham and a scam. And then his son takes to Twitter because Eric ain't been banned yet. He takes to Twitter to talk about how the entire case against his father is being funded by, let me get the right name now, by the co-founder of LinkedIn. His name is Reid Hoffman. Bunch of conspiracy theories. So what happened was when they went to court, the judge looked at Trump and his lawyers and was like, hey, talk to your boy. People have been telling me that he's been on social media with his son talking about this case, trying to really sway the opinion of the public in this case and potentially the jurors as well.
Right.
Talk to your boy. Like, if I see this again, it's going to be consequences, repercussions, all of that. So the crazy thing is, I know after Trump heard that, because he was in the courtroom when the judges warned his lawyers to have a conversation with him. I already know Trump wanted to get on Truth Social and be like, hey, this judge is a racist and a lunatic, but now he can't because he's already been warned that, like, hey, if you do some shit like this again, I may just rule in her favor for the hell of it.
Right.
But yeah, like he just can't help himself. He stays in trial. And mind you, y'all, this is a rape case.
This is
and when he ran for president the first time, he was on trial for the rape of a 13-year-old girl. I just want to point that out. This is y'all's president that y'all have been defending. Go ahead.
A lot of sexual assaults in his history, along with other egregious acts, acts in which he's been called out by. One thing I think is interesting, one of the things that I kind of got from this was the fact that Trump, he no longer has mainstream media to use as his tool. Again, we go back to the Central Park Five. I'm sorry, forgive me, the Exonerated Five. I'm correcting myself. The Exonerated Five. He was actually, if you think about his relationship with the New York Times back then, and how he was able to get a front page cover, and then now he calls the New York Times a sham and run by liberals and
but remember,
all
New York
kinds of foul
Times,
shit.
didn't they just fire somebody? Or no, they told their journalists like to be careful about how they speak about Israel. So they still
got some bullshit to clean
there's
up.
still some shit going on over there.
But it's just the point that he no longer has that connection. So I guess in my mind, that is some small amount of growth from I guess American media. But it just goes to show that is one tool that racists used to use to get their story across. They had to make people look a certain kind of way, and they didn't mind using all of that to sway the opinions. There once was a time when they would do things like that, and the judge just never heard about it. Or either he did and just ignored it, but whatever the case may be. But now, in this age of social media, they can't use. So I'm glad that they can't use it. So he needs Truth Social to keep pushing his narrative. So.
And Newsmax is behind him now. Like every so often, I turn over to Newsmax, and they are thrilled about the last topic we're gonna talk about.
Mhm.
But the reason they're thrilled is because their ratings have gone up. Right? Their boy is gone now, and so they have to find something just as crazy.
They're going.
So they have become like these like followers, these disciples of Donald Trump in the last few days since Tucker Carlson has been off of Fox.
Mhm.
So if Newsmax gets the same following, they could end up being our new problem. Like, but they've been a problem. They just like they're even. This is hard to say, but they're even more right than Fox News.
I'm not surprised. They don't have as many sponsors. That's number one.
Yeah.
They don't have the ratings. And enough people aren't paying attention to them, which is the dangerous part about them.
Yeah.
They can be a little more far right and a little more extreme.
Yeah.
And claim that they're, freedom of the press.
And you know they do. Yeah.
Freedom of mass disinformation is what it really is.
Love it.
But just also, and I want to make sure I'm clear, like D-rape victim E. Jean Carroll, definitely want to think about her in this situation because this isn't. I'm pretty sure this isn't an easy process to be going through. My last point to this is, it's just interesting how these far right figures are so harmful to their women. Yet their women are their biggest voters and supporters. My real question is, why don't they believe each other? I'm just saying, just in the space of rape. I'm just saying in that space. There have been enough of these happening, enough of these charges to be told a right-wing woman uprising to say, hey, these people, these men that we're selecting are for us. But alas, here we are.
I truly believe that the reason is because they know their privilege lies with their men. It lies with their husbands, with their fathers, with their brothers. And so
that proximity power.
Yeah, but like Black women have been questioning ourselves amongst the faction for a while. Like, why do y'all continue to vote against your best interests? But when you think about it, if my privilege is tied up in the patriarchy, then why would I tear that down? I might as well just deal with the little sexism I get and still get to live a life of privilege because I'm directly connected to the patriarchy. Like, and now, but white women are waking up. Like, I be on TikTok like, oh, now y'all want to listen. We've been telling y'all.
We're glad we're glad that's happening, and we hope that I don't know. We're not definitely not saying women should vote. We're definitely not saying women should vote Democratic per se. We're not telling them to vote for that side, but it's just clearly there's one side with leaders who have way more stains, figuratively and literally, on their pants.
Yeah.
So,
It might drop. It might drop.
Shit.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about what's going on in Montana. So, that'll be a few weeks now.
Pause. Let me check this camera. Make sure we still rolling.
Make
sure we rolling. Then I'm gonna put the.
That was.
We good? Okay.
But I'll start over.
Okay. Just for good measure, because it wasn't close to hitting, but better safe than sorry. Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so let's get into Montana. So really, this is an extension of something that we talked about on the show a few weeks ago. So Justin Jones and Justin Pearson in Tennessee. We talked about how what happened in the Tennessee House of Representatives could potentially set a precedent for other states to start moving in the same way, like calling, some type of decorum infractions or whatever, and silencing the voices and potentially expelling people. So Montana's first transgender representative went and gave comment on a bill. So, when you introduce a bill, your peers are allowed to give comment. She gave comment to the bill and said, and I quote, "Republicans will have blood on their hands." And she was talking about they will have blood on their hands if they pass specific legislation that would target transgender youth and their ability to receive gender affirming care as minors. this is someone, and again, like I always try to admit that my perspective, right? This is not something I know because I've never felt like I was born into the wrong body, but I can have empathy because I know people experience their experiences are their experiences.
Right.
Coming from someone, hearing from her say you will have blood on your hands, that leads me to believe that is such a difficult time in these children's lives. They are trying to figure out where they fit on this spectrum that society has created, that if they don't receive this care, they may be willing to do something of harm to themselves. And the response of her peers was ban her from voting and speaking for the rest of the legislative session. Now, they didn't expel her, but they did ban her because they said it was a decorum violation. They were uncomfortable hearing those words come out of her mouth. And I honestly think that is a direct reflection of what we talked about on this show. Tennessee setting the precedent that because someone says something that you don't like, you can take their voice and potentially expel them. And by the way, Montana's House is Republican dominated. It is a Republican.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
A part of the part when she talked about blood being on their hands, she said, "I'm speaking this literally because someone was watching one of the C-SPAN, their version of C-SPAN in Montana, and watching as this bill was going forward because they were hoping that there would be some kind of hope. And in the process of seeing this, the disappointment was a large part of them inflicting that wound on themselves." She talked about it. I'm pretty sure. I think she was describing without too much graphic, but someone cutting themselves, maybe attempt to cut themselves.
Yeah.
A trans young person. This we talk about this specifically. I want everyone to be clear here. We're not just talking about white trans. We're specifically first of all, we're talking about all trans, but specifically we have to address the fact that black trans women are being murdered. There's still an issue within our communities when we talk about trans peoples, anybody on the LGBTQ spectrum. We still kind of have that, and I want us to understand this: that we need to be thoughtful of a lot of these laws because they affect our people.
That's right.
Specifically.
That's right.
They do affect our people. So if you have an issue just off the basis of people being trans, then this is you ain't got you got to
start from the top.
You're not even where we're talking. We're talking. We're viewing trans black people as our equals, as our friends, as our cousins, as our family members. All that. So when we talk about things like this that are happening, that's what we're speaking to. So I just had to add that little blurb on there.
No, a disclaimer for where the Green Route stands on trans issues. Like, these are our cousins. These are our people.
These are family. I know. We personally connected.
Yeah, this is not some person in the distance that we don't know. Like, we love people who are trans. Period. Like, that's it.
Big shout out to House of Rebirth, where they house runaway trans black youth.
Love that.
They give homeless trans black youth a place to stay. So shout out to them. Back to the topic. Specifically, yes, you're right. They're taking a page right out of the playbook of what happened in Tennessee. Someone not following decorum. It just my last point, my specific point is this: why? It's like when we're talking to Republican, conservative, white people about like the wars, everything that they've supported, all this, like they have this understanding of violence. So even when we talking about Indian removal, slavery, just these ideas that violence was just a part of history, right? So I just think that dealing with them, it's so crazy how so exposed they are and accepting of violence being a way, but yet when they hear someone talk about it, like, oh, you're breaking decorum.
Yeah.
Clutch our pearls. Oh my God.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh God. We know y'all are the same folks who are connected to the folks who are shooting water hoses on black people.
Yes. I
don't care what y'all say. A lot of them who have that right-wing ideology, rewind back to the 60s and 70s, would have been totally fine with that. So in my mind, I don't understand how y'all can be so understanding of violence, yet when someone talks about it happening to a minority group, y'all just like, oh my God, oh, like,
I don't.
oh, I'm sorry, a minority group or a group that doesn't pay your pay.
Yes.
So
Okay.
either one of those two.
Yep.
Y'all just so sensitive, y'all just cannot hear it. So
I don't know what to make of these people. I genuinely don't. I don't. I'm never. I'm a pretty empathetic person.
Right.
I can usually put myself in someone else's shoes.
excuse me.
But those super hateful for no reason, just extreme right, anti anything that's not straight white Protestant
Cis-hetero.
male, yeah, like hetero male, but hetero out loud
Right.
male.
But he's like some of them.
I've never been able to put myself in their shoes. That is one perspective I really struggle with. Like what?
I think you'd have to have a superpower to really do that.
Okay.
Or maybe Clarence Thomas is an X-Man. Maybe he can just feel. He's like, I feel the white man's struggle.
The true Uncle Ruckus.
Maybe that. Maybe that's not like a real. Maybe it's like a reverse superpower. I don't know.
I don't even know how to get there. Like I can't even really even approach the line. Like
okay, I get that you want to protect children. You say that. That makes sense.
So you say. You're
saying it. That's getting a step closer. We both agree we gotta protect children. Okay. We both believe that children shouldn't be exposed to things before they're ready. You kind of working on which again, okay, yeah, you see I was getting money now, you see I was getting money. Okay, we're just saying in general, we can agree that there are things that exist that our children shouldn't be exposed to too early. There are things out there. We might disagree on the things.
Like drugs.
Drugs.
Okay, let's go with drugs.
So okay, I might think other things.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
No, that's right.
No.
Correct.
Yes, but yes, I got something else. Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Step two.
Okay, so it's I'm trying to get closer to the line.
I'm trying to make that jump.
This is an empathetic exercise.
I believe that Jesus died for my sins.
Nah, sorry, y'all. We're trying, but we just
I can't get there.
We can't get there. That was the moral of that whole exercise.
If y'all can figure it out though, record it and tag the green route.
And help us understand because we don't mind those conversations with people who think like that and understanding more why they think like that because truth be told, at this point, who knows white Americans better than black people?
Oh, we had to.
Like, we know them extensively well. Yeah. They know us to, in my mind, I think white America as a corporate entity. Let me say that because in my mind, that's the most powerful thing, corporate/military. Those are the two major figures of America. If it ain't making no money,
that's it.
If it ain't us showing our dominance to make money, those are the two top things. So I think that because that's what they understand about us, but we understand far more about them in that sense.
There was a writer that I can't remember the quote, but they talked about that, how since slave times, black people had to understand white people. Yeah. To know what was coming, to know like how to maneuver around. Even in that context, a black person had to be overly sensitive as a slave to what their masters moves, thoughts, all of that. Yeah. The reason why is because we have to read the behavior before the behavior comes. We had to. We couldn't. There's no getting caught off guard by this man having a fit. Come to find out, every Sunday he has a fit after he leaves church or after he does this action. Yep. We have to. So for people who don't get that point, that is what we mean. The root of that is exactly what you're talking about. And even now, when we're in these positions, we go into corporate America and how there's this extra layer of sensitivity and understanding. That's where code switching comes from. Is important. Come on, partner. I'm saying, yeah. To that point, absolutely. Yeah. We spent a lot of time on that. Sorry, we did. Sorry. You want to check the cameras real quick? Sure, you think we good? No, we'll check that out. Just check that out. Okay, I'm having fun with this episode, y'all. That'll work. We'll have different videos for every segment. Basically. Right. Next. So China. Okay, this is gonna be an interesting one. Yeah. Okay. So right now, this is what's being speculated. This is what's being put out there. The idea is that China is on their way to becoming the superpower. They have made in the last, for sure, 20
20, 30 years, they have made changes to how they've done business. And I want to say that's driven their growth.
Mm-hmm.
They, number one, they already had the manpower. China is the most populated
Yes.
country. Yeah, they are the most. They have the most people to engage.
There's billions.
So this is
right?
from a military perspective. So
Yeah.
that kind of speaks to that part. Yeah. So they've made some changes. They've also made a lot of investments in Africa, other countries. Now that is 100% questionable.
BRICS is a thing for a reason.
There's a whole conversation behind that, but they've made investments into other countries, heavy investments, and for the most part, they're for sure the top three, if not number one, the largest exporting country.
That's right.
By things that they make, and we're talking everything from electronics to shirts to all kinds of things. So they are on their way. I think people have in the media have been playing with the idea, but no one's really like outright said it. But it is a thing.
So to your point, the most populated, I believe they're the most populated, 1.4 billion in 2021. 1.4 billion humans walking around that country. There are about 380 million of us, maybe 350 million.
That might be the line, but yes, they outnumbering us, y'all.
We're in the mid 300s somewhere. So yeah, the second point that GS made, and I want to reiterate, is that everyone depends on them. Like their exports, mind you, we couldn't get masks over here for how long during quarantine because we exported all of our manufacturing of N95s, or just about all of our manufacturing of N95s to China. And they had issues, so they were like, well, shit, we ain't got much to export right now. Hold on.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I mean, we are watching China. Obviously, there has been a plan for decades.
Right.
Because they didn't, this isn't just like I just came up type of story. Like they have been working on building their GDP, on building their
infrastructure.
Absolutely, their infrastructure, their cities up. Even think about the fact that they had to accept cheap wages for low labor in order to become the exporting giant of the world. But they have BRICS now, right? All of the different countries that they have aligned with. But more than anything, y'all, what we are seeing is they are starting to get involved on a geopolitical foreign affairs stage. So we are watching them broker deals for peace. We're watching them say, hey, we got a 12-point peace plan for Ukraine and Russia. We are watching them call out the U.S. for sending weapons to Ukraine, but also calling for peace. My mama said years ago, we need to start learning Chinese, and I didn't understand what she was talking about. But Deborah was before her time.
She might have been.
And Mandarin might be on my list.
Might be the way.
Babbel.com, y'all. Babbel.com.
I can see right-wing people talking about those communists. Look, they sound like commies. All kind of shit. What we're saying is this. This goes to the old term of a broke clock can be right twice.
At least twice.
If we believe that there are media outlets that might be right sometimes. Rarely, but they can be right sometimes. Speaking factually as far as like what we agree with from a philosophical, ideological perspective, we agree that it makes sense that China is calling out America and saying, how y'all saying y'all want peace, but y'all are giving weapons to one side. The other part to even that part that kind of acknowledges China as kind of a superpower is the fact that Ukraine had a meeting with them, and China's also still making money with Moscow, sending oil to them. And again, America was like, was trying to mess that up. Was trying to get involved in that. Y'all just as y'all, supporting a country.
You don't fuck up your relationship, now you're trying to come in mine.
So yeah, it's just interesting that that China is becoming more vocal. In my mind, it's all calculated. America has spies over there, and truth be told, I think the reason why a lot of stuff hasn't come out, only thing that we're really getting is like, oh, they're communists, they're doing this wrong, they're doing this terribly. But not like any like hardcore China is planting bombs in America. Like they're not even going that far yet. But again, I wouldn't put surprise into inspire America to plant some shit. That's a different conversation. That's how a lot of these police situations work. But my point is, is the fact that China is doing what it looks like they're just doing the work. Mm-hmm. Now, is this work ethical? Do I agree with how they're doing this work? Not all of it, for sure. Mm-hmm. But I think that their investments, their moves, their time over time building up their economy, like it's doing something.
Yeah. And I mean, you think about everything they're doing may not be ethical, but we know everything America did to get to be the world superpower was not. Most of what America did to get to be the world superpower was not ethical. So even if China, you know what I mean, they're like, hey, well, at least we not putting people in concentration camps.
They saying some wild shit, but let's also be clear here. China does have a history of genocide. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of the Muslim population within like the southeastern part of China. So yes, they have their issues. They have someone who's been in power. I think he may have eliminated the terms of I'm not sure what it is, what the situation behind why he's been the leader so long. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna sit there call him a dictator. I know. I haven't read as much. I ain't read up on that aspect.
Well, and we live on TikTok, so love y'all. Yeah.
But yeah, so the thing is, they're not 100% right, and we want to acknowledge that as well. They're not 100% right, nor is America. Yeah. But in this particular specific thing, in terms of what they call that America, that was the right call. Yeah. So.
I love it. All right, what we got next? Sudan. So we have to talk about Sudan. So earlier this week, I think it was either Sunday or Monday, mm-hmm. the U.S. Launched like an emergency evacuation situation in
their capital city.
Mm-hmm. And this is because tensions between two military factions have gotten so bad that it's believed that they're on the brink of a civil war within the country. So this all came from 2019. So all this kind of started in 2019 when there was a coup, president was ousted, and the people apparently called for the end of military rule. Mm-hmm. And pretty much like saying that another faction, like a different kind of alternate faction, be absorbed into the military. Mm-hmm. Well, long story short, these two generals that are pretty much the heads of the military and also the RSF. Yes. What do they stand for? Because I thought it was interesting how normal it was. It stands for Rapid Support Forces.
Yes, Rapid Support
Forces. I was like, I thought it was gonna be like some Arabic shit or something, but no, just very simple. So so they are at war right now, and tensions have gotten so bad that countries, not only the U.S. but other countries, have been pulling their diplomats and their families out. Mm-hmm. There are some people who are still left. I believe I saw 12 to 14,000 Americans who have dual citizenship who are left over there, and of course they have the option if they'd like to come back. But yeah, I mean this is another thing where we was playing around in people's backyards once again, and not just the U.S. but really Western allies. Is what they're calling them. We're playing around in people's backyards, and then when shit get real, we start pulling our people out all of a sudden. And the last thing I want to point out is who the World Health Organization said that because the infrastructure is crumbling so quickly over there, that there is a risk of like biodisease. So because they don't have clean water anymore, because the sewer system has begun to shut down from just violence, right? Bombs and things like that. 70% of hospitals have had to shut down and cease operation. So quickly, this country is disintegrating into what looks to be a civil war.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take it back to like the genocide in Darfur. That was a regional thing that got so big. It was a northern-southern civil war. and it was very, very violent.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing was, a large part of that line in between them, Muslim, Christian. Y'all, so I'm gonna be wrong. I might be wrong. I'm gonna be wrong. People don't disagree with me. I'm okay with that.
Warning.
I sincerely believe that when the people themselves are damn near starved, resources are taken away, when like what we're seeing in Sudan right now is what we experience in our ghettos in terms of resources being taken out, in terms of over policing, in terms of the bullshit that we've done, the fanning of the flames of irritability amongst the people to make them fight each other. Sudan is what that next level is.
Mm-hmm.
We've experienced it here, you know, being from where we're from. We've experienced that tension. We've experienced that violence. We've experienced outsiders agitating our communities and then leaving us to
by way of divestment.
Exactly. By way of divestment, by way of direct violence, by way of killing, murdering our leaders. I'm saying that understand that what's happening in Sudan is a larger version of what we see on our streets, just to make it more relational. So we have two sides. Some other factors that kind of are still interesting. The resource, because y'all know, most places where there is fighting like this, we're talking civil wars, we're talking about countrymen against countrymen, we're talking about all of that. Usually there's some kind of capitalistic exploit connected to it.
Okay.
Now, Sudan's is gold. Sudan has a lot of gold.
Give it to us.
So we have people who are invested. No, let me not factually. I'm not factually saying this, but I'm saying that to me, it makes sense to help or at least ease more of that tension into there, because again, a warring state ain't got time to regulate what you're doing. If I'm making a lot of money on your property, on your land, and it's easier for me to dig all night long when you're not there or when you're not paying attention and get as much as I can. Because if y'all get y'all shit together, what happens when a country gets their shit together? They do what? They start feeding their people. They start feeding their people, they start educating their people. Once they start educating their people, that's when they start thinking about their resources. That's when they start thinking about all that. So if you keep a group in violence, long story wrapped up, you keep a group in violence.
I'm loving it. Yeah.
You keep a group in violence for so long, usually it's because someone is gaining from it.
I ain't got nothing to add. I thought that was beautiful.
That's what I feel.
As crazy as fucked up as the situation was, and the way you explained it was was really good. And you're right. Like they can keep us distracted with primitive shit. Like I take all your things. Yeah.
Keep us in food deserts.
Yeah.
Keep y'all dying off of dietary diseases and being worried about when we protesting if we don't get shot and the person who shoots us gonna get let off by the governor. This is what we gonna keep y'all on.
Yeah. Because
they know that if they took those things off, again, same things happen in Sudan. If you take that outside influence away, then don't tell them what the people will become.
Wow. Everybody at work right now, still some company time. Because fuck that job. That job is there to keep you distracted.
You're distracted. Distracted, man. Damn.
Okay. Where we at? It's gonna be your last one. Yeah. Well, we got it all. Thank God, because that was perfect.
Okay. Y'all still there with us on Twitter?
I have no idea.
What is the name of the podcast? Oh, it's called Green Rail. Oh, yeah, really have people on here asking questions. What's up, y'all? What's happening?
Sorry. We tried to give y'all a good camera angle today.
Okay. All right. Okay. Ready? Yeah. In 3. In 3. In 2. 1. Sorry, it was just the camera.
No, good. All right, so this one was kind of fun. Last topic. So Tucker Carlson and Don Lemon got fired on their day off.
What the fuck? Man, stealing boxes for? Stealing boxes.
Hey, did you see the meme? Did you see
I
the
did
meme?
not see the meme.
It's so good. So
Okay.
somebody cut their heads onto Ice Cube and Chris Tucker when they was on the porch. It was perfect because I think they both got fired on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. So y'all, it was a damn week in broadcast journalism. Specifically mainstream broadcast journalism.
Mainstream, yeah.
Because we still have our jobs, as you can see. We haven't fired ourselves from this podcast.
We have yet. And again, it's called the Green Route Podcast.
The Green Route. Y'all will find it on all the platforms. So Don Lemon, he's been, I think he was with CNN for about 6 or 7 years, and his last job was hosting CNN This Morning. So we had 2 co-hosts. The ratings weren't great, right? Especially given that where he had come from. But apparently Don Lemon was also just terrible to women, which I'm again trying to remember the situation, trying to put myself in people's shoes.
Mm-hmm.
You're a gay black man. How are you terrible to anybody? You was like the one group I can shit on.
Exactly. Yeah, I would say that's the way. I would say I can see how, because he still has a level of privilege being a male, and a male high up. And let me just be clear here.
Very wealthy, yeah.
Don Lemon is in the high ups of media personality spaces. So if indeed he was shitty to those women, which it's likely if people are saying it, I ain't gonna argue with that, because a lot of those people will be up there and be full of shit. So yeah. Oh, there's a okay.
Give it to us.
I don't even want to say
Give
it.
it to us.
No, it ain't nothing bad. It ain't even like that. I just recall having conversations. Now let me preface this by saying this. I have conversations with a lot of people I do not agree with.
Okay.
We have fundamental differences in ideas, ideologies, beliefs, all of that. But I'm always interested to hear somewhat of their perspective. Mm-hmm. Just like, what are you thinking? What led you to this? So we were just in some group setting. We might have been in a think tank or something, but we were just having a conversation about corporateness and being hired and all that in that space. Basically, this girl said something to give off homophobic. She's in corporate.
Okay.
Longer story even shortened. She says that black gay men take black women's jobs in a corporate space, and so she had like some animosity, kind of like some. And I'm just like, I'm not in a corporate space, and I'm not a black woman, nor am I a black gay man. I really didn't have too much of a dog to like argue against, just outside of the fact that, first of all, it's a capitalistic system, so people, different groups, minority groups will battle each other and go against each other. That makes sense. I'm saying that you're not going to fight fair in their space. That was my only rebuttal. But in terms of if black women in general really thought stuff like this, then it would make sense as to why a Don Lemon can exist in these spaces.
Yeah. Because
it's like our sisters are already telling us already that patriarchy is an issue. Like that sexism and all that shit is an issue.
Regardless of what your intersectionality
and regardless of that, they said that part is an issue in
Yes.
itself. So it's just like, even if it wasn't about him being gay, the potential for him being a shitty man to a woman is still relatively high. Mm-hmm. Just being a man. Mm-hmm. It's not no knock to my brothers at all. It's just that a lot of us who are in those higher positions ascribe to white male supremacist thinking, but we don't want to accept that.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's almost human nature now to punch down, but it is really an effective capitalism. Mm-hmm. So any group that you see you have some type of privilege over, a lot of us will punch down. This is why black people, for some reason, believe they can be homophobic. Right? You believe that on the ladder that society has set that at least the gays are below us, mm-hmm. right? And so I can punch down on them. And crazy enough, what I'm learning is that the gays believe that trans are below them. And so, at least I'm cis. Right. And so I can punch down on you. And so,
I mean, and again, y'all, we're not saying one way or the other that's the way it is. We're just saying that a perspective that we've run into multiple times. In that sense, when we see minority groups punch down on other groups, I'm inclined to believe the reason why we do that is because of this. In a long story shortened, the media. Mm-hmm. We are convinced that our biggest issues in terms of why we're poor, why we don't have enough food, why we don't have enough this, is because of a lower group. Republicans have been doing this for a long time.
Yes. You're only not rich because
these
the
immigrants,
blacks and
the blacks, were giving too much to
women
welfare. Literally, McCarthy, they just approved the debt ceiling, but at the expense of temporary assistance for needy families. They're cutting some of that, veterans benefits, all of that.
It'll never get through the state, by the way, y'all.
They are telling people a lot of political leaders are agreeing and supporting. They're telling them that the reason why we're in this financial issues because of what we need to do actually to fix ourselves is to cut the poor groups, which in a sense is blaming them, saying we're giving them too much money, not that we're giving more tax cuts to millionaires, trillionaires, and billionaires. That's not the issue.
Yeah, no, of course not. Right? They create jobs.
So we punch down because they're telling us that's punching 100%. That's the issue.
I mean, it is my opinion that is how Trump got in office. They were able to say, hey, the reason you're not prosperous, the reason you don't have everything you want is because you have these people that are coming into this country, taking up all your tax money, taking up all your jobs. You got the blacks who got more rights than you now. Right. These gays are out here getting welfare benefits and using Medicare to pay for their transition.
Your tax money going to that. Your tax money is paying off these liberal educations.
Yes, the student loan. That's the whole thing with the student loan issue. The reason why conservatives are against it is because they believe the reason they are not wealthy is because America is about to pay off the student loans of the, what do they call the left elite, the liberal elite.
The liberal elite about to pay their bills.
Elite where, sir?
So again, that's the issue. That's what we're saying. So that's Don Lemon's part in a nutshell. We got to talk about my man, sarcastically speaking, my man Tucker Carlson. My man got fired for real on his day off. He found out they called him, and then an hour later they told everybody else. They're like, we're gonna wrap this shit up quickly. So
they got the email written when they called Tucker.
There are so many different things that's kind of fucked up. Number one for me is the fact this: y'all are firing him for using language, right? Specific words and this and that. It's like y'all tell him to say these things and just think that he's not this person. Like of course y'all are paying him to say it, but it's like y'all are surprised that y'all actually, the on-air personality is exactly how he is off air, but can use cuss words and shit like that.
Because anybody worth their salt, when the script was handed to them, would have been like, nah, no, I'm not saying this. This is not the truth.
It's like being on To Catch a Predator and then putting them in a classroom. What y'all doing? Like,
you made it. Come on, y'all.
It's like y'all. That's the part that kind of fucks me up. It's like now, but I know why though. They have another lawsuit on their hands, and if they can go ahead and, as the corporate white saying goes, let his roll, maybe that can absorb some of the shock of this newer one, because they just had to pay out $787
million.
Bill. My bad, I'm fucking up. Mill, but so that's my point.
No, good point, y'all. Good point. That shit is crazy. But no, Tucker. I saw a conspiracy theory today, and I never even thought about it like this. But so shout out to this sister for thinking about it. But she's in PR and media, and she said that she believes, like Tucker Carlson, is about to hop into some space that will allow him to run for president. Now, if she was talking about 2024 or maybe 2028, I'm not sure. But her belief is that he is going to be the guy who was let go by mainstream media. And I'm gonna tell you, so maybe he takes 4 years, right, to tell his people the truth, and then he runs. When I was watching this video, like, God damn.
Let's be clear here. That would make the most sense. This is something, y'all. I always say this. I ain't gonna even go that far because I'm for sure gonna get banned on TikTok. But I will say this: that if America could, in some ways, be like those fascist, dictatorish. Well, first of all, they're already displaying those tendencies now, in a sense. If they could operate with some amount of impunity like those leaders would, they could, or say if they could do it, they would
They
do it.
would.
We all know that.
Yeah.
We're kind of, again, we're seeing signs of it, seeing how they're censoring people who are representatives of thousands of people. Like, so my point is, Tucker Carlson already is able to talk to people. He's had more than plenty of years talking to a public. He has a mass following.
Yes.
They had the highest ratings. I'm almost 100% positive that 99.9% of his viewership audience voted for Trump.
Oh yeah.
Like the consistent viewership. I'm saying like the ones who like are diehard and really
not those of us that are cross-watching.
Yeah, like sometimes we watching shit, and there are some people who are on the liberal side. The libertarian side, and they have conservative viewpoints that they may, file in for, whatever the case may be. But his core group, for sure, they are the ones who voted for Trump. Those are the ones who got him into office. So he can for sure take that base and go. Oh,
I'm excited to watch it happen because you can't waste a moment like that.
I'm gonna be honest. That's we got like, I think it scares me. It scares me because what we know, hearing his ideology again. He done already talked about the replacement theory. He done talked about some wild shit already that he supported. So it's like giving someone that power who actually has the charisma to talk to the masses of his supporters. It's like he already was terrible enough. He already had the bullhorn that he had. So now this is just his opportunity to parlay that power.
Yeah.
So he might run. The thing is, he's going to have to follow that process because he's married, right? Or he has a child.
He's married. Yes.
He has a family. He has a family. Okay, so he does have a family. It makes it even more dangerous. Because that makes him even more.
I'm looking at what his wife looks like because if she is. She a thin white
all right.
Oh,
you
no.
know.
White.
So yeah, y'all. So no, I absolutely think that is something that we need to be watching, and because he, in my opinion, I agree with the sister you watched. To me, he has the most potential to get in that position and do harm.
Yeah.
So we gonna see.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. So how? I mean, he married. He got the.
Yep.
Is he? So we gotta find out if he's a Christian.
4 kids. I believe 4.
Yeah.
I'm
so
looking at 4.
y'all.
Oh, he's a Christian for sure.
Tucker Carlson is a thumb, but he looks like a thumb, but he is somebody that we really do need to be watching. I think Newsmax. I think OAN might pick him up, and he might secure that.
And they're everyone's like, this is the biggest family ever to be in the White House. I can see it now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely who we don't want, because having Trump in there, Trump was just on some bullshit, trying to get paid, trying to get his family members paid. He wasn't about pushing none of their stupid ass agendas. But Tucker Carlson there, buddy, to save America.
And he got $3. Oh,
$3. Oh, let something bad happen to one of them. Or let somebody set up some shit to where, y'all, all right.
All right. We're gonna leave that one right there. All right, well, that's what we got for today.
And just to be clear, that wasn't a threat of violence to him or his family.
Absolutely
that was just
not.
saying that people may want to do something in order to spark him to go a more racist, a more right-wing direction.
Do not come knocking on my door. You're not.
Yeah, we know about white women yelling rape, and black men being lynched, innocent black men being lynched shortly after. So those calls are not completely unheard of. Yeah. But yeah, y'all. Sorry, just had to make sure make sure y'all understand the full perspective of what we're saying.
That's right. All right, well, that's what we got. You want to check in?
Let's check in. All right. So, I think things are getting back overwhelming again.
Oh no.
Just it's been a lot. I feel like it's been a good though, but I think it's because like last week I had things I needed to do, like fix, like my truck. I finally got my truck back. I got some stuff fixed on my car, like the basic stuff, the big stuff is back. I kind of fixed up my back room. So this spaces thing, we're keeping the spaces are coming together. So it's just I need to kind of now get a chokehold on it. That's all.
Oh, you don't have to do it by yourself.
Okay. I will. I'll let you know, partner. I'll let you know.
Seriously.
How about you? How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. It was a crazy week. Mentally, emotionally, but yeah, no, I'm good. I got no complaints. Like I feel like I've been just trying to focus my energy on doing the things that will get me where I ultimately want to be, and not waste time on just rudimentary shit. So so yeah, it was a week, certainly a week of growth. For me, both emotionally, spiritually.
Not mad at that.
Yeah, I'm not. Even when shit hurts, right? Like I truly believe that every moment that has ever unfolded in my life, it has been like divinely like ordered. And so even in the moments of hurt, I just be like, yep, this is leading to something better, right? It's leading to a level up or something. So yeah, it was a tough week, but I just had the same faith and was like, I'm gonna keep doing the shit that I've been doing. Right? Even if I don't want to get up, even if I don't want to record, I don't want to write, like I'm still do it. So yeah, it was an okay week. We're hoping for better.
Okay, most definitely. And you also just celebrated your birthday. How did you feel about that?
I felt good. The last birthday I was nervous about was 30. So it's crazy. People was like, 35 is a big birthday, and I was just like, I mean, it's okay. Like I tend to work in like 10, 5, and 1 year increments. And so for me, I'm like, okay, have I done everything that I wanted to do by 35? There are a few things I didn't get done, but that's okay too, right?
Right.
So yeah, I felt like it's another year to progress, to grow, to expand.
Right.
So I didn't see it as like a big deal, but I feel like everybody else wanted to celebrate because it was 35. So yeah, but no, I had a good time. Shout out to my cousin Toya for planning, just some good shit, and then my line sister Ashley Ray too for taking me out for Taco Tuesday.
Being a real G.
Yeah, like they had me out past midnight because they wanted to bring the birthday in. So I appreciate that. So yeah.
Free. All right, y'all. Let's
make sure this is going.
Oh, it is? Okay. It was off?
Almost out.
Okay.
Yeah, a minute, but 2 minutes.
I think that'll do it.
Okay.
All right, 3, 2. All right, y'all. So wrapping up. It's been a lot that's happened. But yeah, if I'm gonna sum it up by saying that I think we just need to be mindful of outside factions yet again. The division, all the bullshit that we're seeing, we just have to be mindful of all of these factors that are contributing to that and who's benefiting off those factors. Because again, if it's happening to a degree somewhere, that means it's happening in a sense everywhere because it could happen in another place.
Yeah.
So we gotta be thoughtful. We gotta be mindful. So.
I like that. All right, Sean, you got anything coming up this weekend? You want to speak about?
Man, actually, just my brunch. Just my brunch on Sundays. That's it. So y'all pull up 311.
If y'all in Dallas?
If you're in Dallas, pull up. I don't have any events. I have an interesting event coming up.
Okay.
We'll talk about that off camera. That's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah. We'll see if we want to invite the people. We'll talk about it off camera.
All right.
All right, cool. Well, I guess we'll see y'all next week. We get more consistent for y'all. So
yes.
This is your ride home on Thursday. Catch up on the week. See what's popping in the news in the world. Like, come hang out with us.
Come kick it.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Later.
Peace.
That. Sorry, y'all. We was not looking at comments, but we will right now. All right. I don't know. I actually don't know how to stop this one.
I got it. Okay. Stop this one. I'm supposed to have them.
Thank y'all for joining. Appreciate it.
It was Restream. Oh.
You said what?
Oh no, Restream. It's Restream.
Okay. So